Welcome, everyone. Midweek, and I feel like it needs to be like Friday. I don't know about you, but there's just been so much going on. Yeah, this is a busy week, so I totally appreciate you being here, and at the very end of your day. So thank you. This is a big week for me. It's going to go all the way till like 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'm kicking off this program called Mesa, and that's going to happen on Saturday. So it's like in front of that, it's like a very long ways to go. So, anyways, today it's going to be a great time. We want to hear how things are going on the campus. I'd like to find out things like in terms of things like opportunities that you're getting at your staff meetings to share out, and opportunities that you're given as you're within your academic groups and colleagues to share some of the things that you're working on. So we're going to go around and kind of introduce ourselves and take just a second to talk about what are those things individually that's going on our campuses that is involved with instructional technology in your leadership. Okay? So I'm gonna start on my left. I'm gonna read us like a book. So we're gonna go left to right, my left to my right. So we're gonna start over with Tracy.
Okay. Hello, Tracy Espina from Gaines Kindergarten. And as far as technology goes, actually, I'm going to share as far as when we're in staff meetings now, we're using a lot. We're bringing our computers in and actually working, collaboratively to actually put in notes, and because we used to just always just handwrite everything out. And now it's like, okay, our principal, Mrs. Sullivan, has now, she sends out the agenda ahead, just like you do with our meetings, and okay, we're all on the same page, and everybody's putting notes and adding in, at the same time. So we're working collaboratively that way.
That's great.
Well, I'm at Alondra, Martin Hernandez. We have laptops now for everybody, so the teachers are not using the copier as much. They're asking for more help with
Even John?
PDF. Even John's on Schoology, and so the teachers are asking more questions about submitting assignments online through Schoology, and just more. There's more desire to want to learn some of the stuff that last time I put on the web, and they just kind of brush it off. And so it's good. It's good, and the kids are coming through asking questions about downloading files and how do they use their phones to upload files, and so it's all coming together finally.
So Martin, at least last I checked, you're like an app development, right?
I do app creators, yeah.
Yeah. So his actual the middle school, he's showing kids how to create mobile apps.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Marilyn?
I guess one thing that we're doing this year with the lower grades is during small group differentiated instruction. First and second grade have about 5 devices each to share with their class, and so they have a station where they do activities on the computer. So first grade is doing more of like the StartBall, or now we have a program called Lexia, which our first and second graders use, which is kind of like a differentiated game type of thing where students take an assessment and it places them in different levels, and they work on phonics and skills, and slowly work up to comprehension and things like that. So tying in the technology in the lower grades through small group instruction.
That's cool. And I noticed that Teresa was here, Ibarra. She could talk about even the little guys. What are your opportunities, Marilyn, to be able to share with your staff?
I wish we had more opportunities. It doesn't. A lot of times, what I try to do is I'll mention it like at our grade level collaboration.
Yeah.
It's like, I've heard of this app or whatever, and share it that way.
Cool.
But during staff meetings, we don't get to. I haven't had too much of a chance
And I'm not poking at anything. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Christine Baltazar. I used to be tech lead at Moakler, but I switched sites, so I'm at Gaines now with Tracy. So being a K-3, I'm adjusting to the kiddos not being too familiar with the Chromebook yet, since we've only had it for about a month or so. But I think I'm more transferring the knowledge of what worked in 4th grade to our 3rd grade team, because they've been using Google Classroom. We were more of Schoology at Moakler, so I was showing them how it just integrated well with not having to transfer like gradebook, and so I kind of did a little tutorial with my 3rd grade group at our collaboration as far as that it benefits us more. I mean, not more, obviously it's by preference, but just showing them what we've been doing at Moakler and transferring it over to Gaines and seeing and learning more about how they do things as well, if that makes sense.
So, what's your next school that you're going to go to?
No, I don't know. I don't know where. I was at Tanner too. Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
Come on, Sarah.
Right. Angie.
I'm Angie. I'm at the adult school. So we have a different set of challenges because we don't have Synergy, we have ASAP, and it doesn't talk to Schoology. So we've just recently been able to figure out how to get our students into Schoology. So that's a whole new thing we're rolling out. So we have right now a trial run with a few teachers that are trying to get a successful model up, and then we can share it out with the staff. So that's kind of what we're working on right now.
And they're doing amazing things there. If there's ever an opportunity to go visit a class at the adult ed, it's super cool. It's like wall-to-wall students, and all the students are our age.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And they're a lot of times the parents of your students.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's like, getting on a mouse is like click twice. Like if there's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
not
It's
everyone, but there's a lot of
totally
like
level
double
one.
click.
I walked into Angie's class and she's up on a table because there's so many people in her class. I'm going to skip over to this table.
I am Amber Bronner. I'm at Works in 1st grade. I would say there hasn't been too much change in technology yet. I know we have been working on the cards for the younger ones to
Totally
be able
cool.
to start signing in with that. I was talking with the computer teachers and we're working on that together. I guess our new principal is very much into technology, so we're emailing more. Now we're sharing calendars, so we're taking baby steps.
Yeah.
But baby steps are better than no steps.
So. We were over at Words earlier today. Joy, was it?
I saw it.
Yeah, I walked by and said, see you later. Bar here.
Cool. Thanks, Anna. Right?
I'm Claudia, I'm at Hollydale, and I think we've been working on the same thing with our 1st and 2nd grade teachers that don't have access to Chromebooks on a daily basis, getting more devices into their classroom so they can start using some different programs. So we've started this year to incorporate MobiMax and giving them the opportunity, the little ones, the opportunity to work more on the computer.
Somebody's nodding. Who else is using MobiMax? Yeah.
I think it's site discretion to purchase a subscription.
I think you're right.
Yeah, but we started up with it last year, and when I share, I'll talk about kind of what we opened the discussions on with our sites.
And Claudia, what's your opportunities to be able to share your understanding?
I haven't done it this year, but last year I would do many PDs for teachers on T-days. So quick 15 minutes, 20 minutes of app, that they can incorporate in the classroom. Try to do that about once a month.
One of the things that I hope that you're kind of drawing out of this discussion, and that you have already, is that we really want to encourage and continue our momentum for your leadership on your campuses, as opposed, in contrast to, I think, earlier lead technology teachers that were assigned specifically to update the website. So your leadership is really what we want to enable and encourage. who's doing it?
Sarah? Sarah
Sarah,
Tatro.
nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Thanks, Sid.
I'm Christina Escobar. I'm at San Boone. So I see a lot more teachers who are all one-to-one with their students. So a lot more teachers are communicating Schoology. For me personally, what I've done is I've done it like a tech Tuesday. So we have our school site, our group in Schoology. So I'll put like a tip every Tuesday.
Very cool.
Things that I've learned when I've come to like meetings here, or I've gone to a lot of the one-on-one instructional sections, things like that. I've done like a mini PD for like AirPod, just kind of with teachers.
And so what do you call it?
Tech Tip Tuesday.
Tech Tip Tuesday. Triple T.
Yeah. We had Nancy come in to do assessments for teachers that want to learn about it.
Cool.
Christina Elias at Roosevelt. Going back to MobiMax, like I said, our site purchased a subscription last year, and I happened to pop into a third grade class, and I noticed just doing their quick, kind of math facts kind of day, they were all on MobiMax on their devices, just getting that practice. For my small group, I teach second grade. That's one of my centers, is the kids go there, log into MobiMax. Now they're getting that practice, so they're at second grade level getting more comfortable. And what's really nice is it has like a whole variety of options, phonics, reading comprehension, different math skills, and then we opened up the discussion at our staff meeting last Thursday about the science portion of it. It does offer really good practice for the fifth grade, when the fifth graders have to take that end of your CAST test. They offer awesome practice question opportunities for it. So then we talked about, hey, how can we integrate MobiMax with the science lessons from the district for our units. And so just trying to work with the tech.
I'm Patty Gonzalez. I'm over at Jackson. We're one-to-one, and we've been one-to-one. We just opened up the new Chromebooks, switched up for sixth grade.
Yeah.
Sixth grade got new Chromebooks. We use Schoology and Google Suite quite a bit. We pretty much integrate all our assignments with Google Suite. We also are having, I believe Lakewood's coming in a couple weeks to provide additional training to how we can use Google Suite or Schoology to increase or to enhance to enhance learning using technology.
Cool. Thanks, Marisol?
To get to our team members and stuff, we're trying to get more tech time in our B-Day meetings. Just like this past B-Day we had just quick update to our Surface Pro, show everyone how to do it so they can do it on their own. For that Lakewood training, I created this Google Forms doc to kind of get buy-in from the teachers, hey, vote on what you want Lakewood to go over with us. And then we're able to RSVP there so we can see how many people are going to show up. So just using more things with them so we can get more comfortable, because a lot of us are integrating more people and stuff like that, but it's very surface level. So our next kind of goal for our site, since we've been tech so long, is kind of going in deeper, and instead of just putting a test online, how can we expand that? How can we use it before the lesson, during the lesson, after the lesson?
So for Jackson School, how many years have you been one-to-one?
Three.
No, because
Seventh grade, and then last year and this year. This is our third year.
no, because we still didn't have a roll up with fifth grade.
So little by little we've done grade levels, but it started through the third year with it, and then this is the year where all of us have it.
Yes, so we're completely one-to-one this year. This is our first year.
So as you share out from different sites, there's images and pictures and awesome things that come to our minds as far as the things that we've seen. One of the things that they're doing in Jackson is with math. Joy's been providing some support for this for two teachers who are using OneNote and doing some really incredible things and collaborating with Maria Hughes. And so I think maybe it's like a good time maybe Joy can talk about that, because it's super exciting. So Jackson's doing some really cool things too. Sarah, what's going on over at Tanner?
Hi, I'm Sarah with Tanner. and this is my first year, third grade having Chromebooks. So what I did to help myself is I really tapped into the Wonders curriculum, and I'm assigning, you can differentiate on Wonders as far as the phonics, vocabulary, everything that deals with the units. So I've learned how that's like, so when I'm pulling my students, everyone is on their level, everything is at their level, and I can just assign it, and the grades is, even the testing, the weekly tests are there. So I'm learning how to finagle all that. And I'm hearing a lot of, Schoology, I want to do this. I don't do all that yet, so I'm going to get there, I guess, but I'm trying to do something.
Excellent. Good.
Yes.
Jefferson?
So I was not here when you posed the question. I'm kind of gathering that we're going to talk about what's going on in our schools.
You got that right.
Okay.
Don't tell her.
About tech time. So I'm just seeing, I'm from Jefferson, and we just got brand new laptops for all the teachers, so I've been dealing with a lot of fun issues with that, but good issues. But all the teachers are really excited about their new device, and so I'm looking forward to, I was just messing with one today and seeing like what capabilities it has. It's not identical to this, but it's very similar to it, so I want to show them like cool things that I found about using it in the classroom, like with kids. And that's just the device, that's not programs or anything. Like, I feel like as a teacher it is overwhelming because you hear all these really great things, right? Like, and it's like you're like a kid in the candy store and you're like, I only have this much money to spend, but I want it all. Like, and it's a little bit like, I think what you're saying, just pick something and get really good at it, and if you see results from it, like stick with it, because there's always something else that someone else is using that sounds really cool too, but then it's like overwhelming and you probably just shut down and do nothing. So it's, I'm trying to foster that, like, don't be afraid of it, just like pick something, don't listen to what other people are saying, just focus on that. Like, that's my goal.
Go down that road.
Yeah, like see where that leads you, and then if you don't like it, switch to something else. But that's right or not.
That sounds good to me.
No, it sounds great. And you're doing great stuff. You always have been.
Thanks. Thank you.
Serena?
Hi, I'm Serena. I'm from P Park. Some of the things that we're doing is a lot like what you guys are doing. Like, different teachers are testing different tools. So some are starting on OneNote. Some are using Schoology more. A lot of the teachers have realized with Schoology, students are being more accountable with their grades. So that's just been something that has been a huge focus at our school site, is just emailing kids and putting in grades in Schoology, as well as like Google Docs, the integration on that, and just using different tools as well. So there's just been a lot of new things that everybody's doing.
So at Paramount Park, they received the Chromebook rollout in sequence with everyone else. However, they were one of the first adopters of cloud computing. When we first rolled out any kind of cloud stuff, these guys are the first ones to step forward and say, let's do it. On road.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our agendas. So I'm switching over from over to this tab over here and finding October 16th. All right. So we've got a couple updates and announcements we want to give you some information. Please be the leaders on your campus to share this information out to your staff. Do a Tech Tip Tuesday. Just get it out there. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about the filtering. We're going to and what I hope that you'll be able to see too is what our team's role is in the filter, and how we work together with IT, who's actually the filter boss. And then I'd like to take some time with you to take a look at the work that we did over the summer related to an integration plan. And you guys did some amazing work and some great contributions. And for those of you who are just coming on board, there was some great and awesome work that most of the colleagues here participated in. It took time to consolidate the work that we did, and I'd like to kind of spend some time sharing that with you, giving you some of the background information and inspiration that we've kind of come to take as sort of an inspiration for us moving forward with this work. So that's kind of how we're going to end here, and we may just do a little bit of evaluation and work on that if time permits. So that's our agenda today, and so I'm going to pass it over to either Joy or Nancy to take a look at some of the filtering and professional development stuff.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the web filter authentication. So raise your hand if you've been frustrated with the web filter. Okay, everyone's hands up. Okay, so what we've encountered has been a lot of users getting an error-like message from Google whenever they are searching for a web page. However, and I'll use Amazon as an example. This one has been one that has come to us many, many times. Okay, we're receiving calls from users. Amazon is blocked. I used to be able to get on Amazon and it's not letting me anymore. Just for the record, Amazon is actually not blocked. But what happens is the device, I don't even know how to explain it.
So like the filter needs to know that a person is a teacher. So
yes,
the way the filter works is that teachers can have different permissions from students, which is wonderful. And so Nancy's going to explain how you can tell the filter that you're a teacher.
Yes, so you need to tell the filter that you are in fact a teacher so that you can enter something like Amazon. And I'm just using that as an example, but many users have encountered this when using other websites that are truly not blocked. So if you want to take a minute, I just want to show you where you can find this icon here. You're going to go to your ClassLink page where all your apps are. And we have a folder in ClassLink. It's maroon and it's labeled PUSD folder. And in that folder, you're going to find the web authentication, web filter authentication.
So if you just open Google, and the ClassLink is tagged at the top.
So we just authenticate it by putting our username and password?
Yeah, so if you notice, it might ask you to sign in. If it's asking you to sign in, that means it didn't have your credentials already. So go ahead and sign in now. I should have done it before and after with Amazon.
It's just your username and then the password. So you don't need
not the app.
You don't need the domain.
You don't need the app.
Yeah, it's just the username.
You don't need every other letter.
Once you do it once,
I have to sign in. Good example.
once you do it once, do you have to keep doing it, or is
Good
once
question.
Joke's on you.
I know, right?
This is great.
So the idea behind this is that once you do this, you'll be able to get into certain things, but if things are still blocked, you still have to submit that blocked thing, right?
Actually, you are signed.
So at that point, if you've already done this, you're still going to be blocked.
So you, especially our instructional coaches, we had a discussion where it was poker.com. And the reason why it was poker.com was because that's the test website the IT uses because they know it's always blocked. So if you go to poker.com, you'll notice if your name's underneath, like I went to poker.com on Christina's, and it says you are logged in as Kay Galeas at the admin.
Push itself through.
So that's why Kelly's like, go to poker.com. Because that was the advice I got from my
So now all the teachers can just do this.
Yes, instead of going to poker.
So the question was, once you signed in, are you signed in forever? The answer is no. You are logged out after 4 hours. Yes. So this is something that Tech is going to continue to work on. but for the time being, this is the procedure to use. So if you're trying to access something that wasn't blocked at one point and you notice that you get not the banners, not the colored banners, but you get the Google error page, I think it has a little dinosaur on it. If you're seeing that, try using this method. Yes. No.
Yeah, so if it says like it cannot be reached, sometimes I've seen that. Or if you're on a website and there's a part of it that's just not there. So what it works with websites is that not all pieces are hosted under the same domain. So you'll have one that's like at, cheese.com, but suddenly they have something, this image that's at peanutbutter.com. And so maybe that piece you need to log in. They're like, what is she having for dinner? That's ridiculous.
So I noticed there's a student access point also. There's a student login access point for authentication.
Are you asking, is there? Or?
No, there is one.
Oh, there is.
But, so I have a multimedia class where my students have to access audio files.
Yes.
And so will they have access to that?
Yes. So if the students it's tough because you're in the lab. So yeah, you might have to have them log in. But for the most part, if they're on their Chromebooks, it's once we give that permission, the Chromebooks are so deeply embedded with the filter, the students usually don't have to have this issue at all. But yeah, you can put in the request, we'll push it out.
They have access to certain things. I use the laptops. We're able to get on laptops, but not on the Chromebook.
Yes, so the Chromebook actually has a the filter runs differently on the Chromebooks than on the laptops. And so the filter actually acts the ideal way it's supposed to on the Chromebooks. And then on the laptops, it's like this program. But right now, I feel like we're kind of pulling away from using the laptops all the time. Now that
I just wanted to show that them before.
Yeah, so both you and Martin are in the same place where you guys teach these specialized courses that have some of those other features.
So you want to deem off of yours in just a second?
No, you can show them.
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of bring something up as another possible reason why mine doesn't go in, is because I can tell by the icon here this is my consumer, and so I'm thinking that if I were to switch over to my district parent, that this would not be the case. So I'm inheriting the same filtering that the students would because I'm on my own consumer login for Chrome right now. That's an untested hypothesis. So we're going to switch over, and Nancy's going to take.
I'm just going to use the Amazon example because I am being blocked right now, but Amazon isn't blocked according to tech. So we got to prove that this is true.
What's going on?
So Emily, yeah, you were right. That is okay, so I navigated to Amazon, and this is the page I'm seeing here. Okay, and maybe if you navigate to Amazon, since you already signed in, you shouldn't have a problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ClassLink and find, okay, and if you notice, see I haven't signed in. So I sign in, authenticate. So then I close this tab for Amazon that I have, and then I'm going to open it up again. Okay, so that's what that does. That way you guys can have an idea of what the problem is.
What the poker.com was doing. So the poker.com was checking, and then if you weren't logged in, you'd see at the bottom, you're logged in as anonymous.
Yeah. So now I've told it I'm a teacher.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's kind of easier to remember poker.com because it's funny.
I just created a bookmark right on my browser here. So that's convenient, and it says it's enabled processor. Oh, because I'm already signed in. Maybe, I don't know. I know, but thank you for being so patient as tech works through these things and all these changes that we've implemented this year. So, okay, so with that,
Yeah, so that being said, we've been fielding some requests about unblocking, and again, it's not being blocked on purpose. Feel free to send it over. If it's something that needs to be unblocked, let's say for students, please let us know what grade levels, because there's either all students, it's either allowed for all students or allowed just for high school students. And so there's some permissioning there. And that being said, I think we talked extensively about the filter last time as well. So please feel free to let us know if you have any of those issues. And that being said, we're going to move on to a little bit about LACO and what's going on with all of that. So how many of you remember last year we had facilitated trainings with LACO? And so every year when we sit down and we plan for who we should, because we want to support all teachers, but we have 750 teachers and we have 3 of us. So we have to put together, a plan as to who's getting support this year, who are our target groups. So it's very similar to a new adoption. We feel like when a teacher is new to Chromebooks in their room every single day, we consider them a high focus group. So this year our high focus group was 5th grade, 6th and 7th grade, and then we were working on an increased presence over at Paramount High School Senior. So with that, we have our contract with LACO to provide trainings. And how many of you have heard from some of your 5th grade teachers? Maybe no. So 5th grade teachers we had presented this at a principals meeting. We needed to cohort our teachers because we are doing one professional development in the fall and one in the spring. So the one in the fall is October, the one in the spring is February. And so our schools were split up and kind of cohorted for both of those trainings. And both of those trainings happened during a D-Day. So on October 10th, we had half of our 5th grade teachers, about 19, came over to room 9, a room you guys are very familiar with, over at Odyssey. And we sat down with them to give them what we called a few of the essentials. So it was a jumping off point. And so we have had teachers getting confused because they're not used to being a focus group with regards to instructional technology. However, I hope you guys agree with us that it's important that our teachers feel like they have something to start off with, even though I know it's a little bit of a shift from the routine. I know it's time out of their day, but I am very thankful that our principals were able to say they could spare this team for a D-Day to come and meet with us in lieu of their staff meeting. So if your teachers did not go on October 10th, they have been set a calendar invitation, similar to how we kind of run like today and other days, for October 24th. And please let them know that this is not like a, hey, what's up? This is like, we are hoping and expecting to see all 5th grade teachers during the month of October. And we're halfway to the goal, which is amazing. That being said, LACO at the middle school. So I've got 1, 2, 3 middle school, 4 middle school representation with us today. 5. I was like, where are my 5? So, hi guys. As you know, we shifted our LACO at the middle school. 6th and 7th grade is an essential group to us. We shifted it to on-site because last year we had pulled the 8th grade during D-Days, and with 6th and 7th, it's so many teachers, it just made the most sense to come to you. And this was also presented at a principals meeting to let them know that this is coming down the pipes. And so, as you know, you've got your dates scheduled. So Zamboni is tomorrow. We've got Jackson on the 22nd. I'm trying to make sure I've got all my memories straight. We've got Hollydale on the 30th. We've got Alondra on, no, Alondra's on the 30th. Hollydale it escapes me. And then we need to chat about scheduling. All good. And so that being said, we are coming to you with our vendor so that we can meet. If this time is scheduled for partially after school, it is compensated. So please make sure your teachers know. For if your school decided to schedule it during contract time, obviously it's within contract time. So it was a choice given to say, okay, do we want to do late? Do you want to give up some time during the day? We wanted to make sure that you know, and I know we're like, wow, lots of information. Make sure that you know that as you hear your teams wanting to learn more about certain things, please make sure that you feel open to give us a holler. We can be scheduled to come in, and it's really just knowing when that door is open, because we don't want to barge in all the time. I mean, we know that rotation time can be precious. Teams have things to collaborate on. Teacher individual prep time, C time, things like that. So as you guys are hearing things with your team, if you guys need something, please feel free to reach out. We'll schedule us. We'll come on down. As you know, I've over the past year and a half, they're like, Joy will come before school, she'll be after school, she'll be during school. So whatever you need, we're there. And so while these are focus groups of 5, 6, 7, and then senior campus, overall, though, we still are able to schedule that time with other subgroups. And obviously 3 through 12 is like, oh yeah, well we have the Chromebooks, but I'm so excited to hear that we're increasing our usage in those K through 2s. So before I hand it off to Gerald, do we have any questions, problems, concerns about the items that we had kind of gone over so far? Any burning questions? Yes.
If the 5th grade team that we're sending to the Lakeland training, is it like differentiated for those who are like already pretty tech savvy and have had no problems? Is it going to be like redundant to them?
I would say that, and this is just me being frank, sometimes teachers, they're tech savvy, but they have not interacted in the tool in the way where we would have refined as a best practice instructionally. So there's that piece there. It's easy to say, oh, well, I can click and I do all these awesome things, and really they do. But yeah, it will be kind of the bottom level, but the idea is that all the teachers have a common starting ground. So like on the 10th, we had Marisol, and I was like, we got our tech guru hanging out with us, and she hung, but the time goes by pretty fast. And I wrote something. I hope it did.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, now you put me on the spot. so yeah. But I did have one site who did reach out and said, hey, we had a grade switch. A former 3rd grade is now 5th, and a former 5th is now 3rd. Could I send that teacher who hasn't received any training whatsoever? And we did say, okay, why don't we swap it out? Because we want to make sure all teachers get something, and that original 3rd grade teacher has received training. So that is something to think about as well. Any other questions, problems, concerns? Not all at once, guys. Now?
I just have a comment.
Yes.
I have a comment. Buena Vista did a training session where we did a 20-minute rotation through 3 stations, and teachers have said wonderful things about it. I led a rotation about the student completion feature in Schoology. We had Nancy on Padlet. We had another teacher on Adobe Spark. So the teachers loved that. They kind of gave us an idea of what they wanted to learn first. But if you're looking into a quick training, 20 minutes for each one was perfect.
See,
Just
we
enough
didn't even have to
exposure.
prompt EV.
I know.
So station rotation. Say that one more time. What is it? What does that mean?
It's a 20-minute period where teachers go in and they learn the tool. They're exposed to it for 20 minutes, and then they move on to the next one. And it's quick exposure. They're already starting to play with the tools. All of them are trying at least one of them. Yeah, it's really good.
So that's actually the second time I've heard it successful. Not that at all. It's always successful. But like West Campus did something similar last year. They had a teacher directed. They had 2 to 3 different rooms, and teachers were given the choice to say, oh, where am I a beginner? Am I in the middle? Do I want to learn something new? And they split up. And it seemed like it was awesome. Like we just went as attendees and it was great. So that is something to think about if you want to keep it fresh. And yeah, Emily's right. If you have a few minutes, squeeze it in there. And I know Christina's already squeezing it in online. Any other questions, problems, concerns? All right, so Darrell's going to take us to the meat of the day.
So, well, before I do that, though, I just wanted to kind of emphasize a couple things. Is that related to what Joy was saying? We know that a lot of our guys coming right out of college are just all tech savvy and everything. But are they using the integration feature of Schoology? Do they know how to conduct classroom management during an online discussion in their classroom? So all of those things, those best practices that Joey is referring to, that's what we're going to be honing in on and focusing on. And also there's a component that refers to a common language. And so far we haven't expanded much beyond the SAMR model, but we want all of our teachers to be able to identify and evaluate themselves related to some of these models and some of these structures that we're promoting. Okay? Before I totally kick Joy off the stage, could you talk about Jackson and what they're doing now?
Sure. So Jackson is doing a bit of a pilot. There is a math curriculum with open resources, and the open resources are delivered via a OneNote that has it's been put together. So we've been working through Class Notebook, how that looks like in a 5-period day, as well as Class Notebook when that is your primary method of students interacting. And so things that they've been doing is they will work in groups. They're doing the vertical boards. They will take a photo of it. They will drop it into their section of the OneNote as their evidence of learning. They will speak to their reasoning, and the activities are very highly interactive. Like, I was really impressed because we think, okay, if we're going to take away the factor of paper, what does that mean? It should do something more than just what people did, and so it definitely does. So that is something they started off, and I'm always like, if you guys want to continue with one, and it seems like they have kind of set out to continue, but it is a little quirky. However, it's worth a try. And over this past quarter, I've learned a good amount. I knew a lot about OneNote before. I knew things about it, but using it in that classroom perspective on a 5-period day, it's pretty eye-opening as to what is considered best practice versus other things.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to have Joy share that. And there's a lot of different things that are happening, but that's a really cool thing that's going on over at Jackson. Okay, so when we look at putting our work into containers and things that kind of define and give structure to the business of instructional technology, so that it can be replicated and developed and augmented and changed and adapted, we come to this idea of having some technology integration kind of a plan. Ultimately, we'd like to kind of see some tasks and some things that we want to have kids, some general expectations that we'd like to have kids to be able to accomplish and do in a digital environment related to technology. So this last summer, we spent some time writing on posters, and we took the ISTE standard and we created some activities that would support that. That's every specific standard. We have them down below here, standards 1, 2, 3 through 7, right? The ones that are in bold are the ones that have been completed, or the ones that we've worked on. The ones that are lighter, 1 and 5, have not been developed with any intention at this point. And so if you could just take a quick second and open up, let's all look at number 2, for instance, just to have a place to begin. And this is This is solely a reflection of what